To ask the Tánaiste for an overview on the implementation of the Defence White Paper, and if you make a statement on the matter.
The White Paper on Defence sets the defence policy framework out to 2025 and covers all aspects of defence within the broader security policy framework. Since publication of the White Paper in 2015, a total of 95 separate projects were identified for completion over a 10-year period. Project and programme management governance arrangements were put in place to monitor the ongoing status of projects and to review the scope of projects within the programme. Implementation of the White Paper programme progressed in planned phases since 2015. This phased process was kept under review across the years and was subject to change or update as issues arose and other business dictated. Decisions about which projects to progress at any stage took into account the priorities set out in the programme for government, available resources and initiatives that are already underway. In the White Paper, the Government decided to establish a new fixed cycle of defence reviews. Such reviews are common practice internationally and give reassurance that policy remains up to date and relevant to changing future circumstances. The first of these reviews was the White Paper update, which was approved by Government in December of 2019. As part of this, the update included a comprehensive review of overall progress with White Paper implementation. Following on from the White Paper update 2019 and the Government's high-level implementation plan to implement the report of the Public Service Pay Commission, the Department of the Defence and the Defence Forces concluded a review in early 21 of the projects, which resulted in reprioritisation of White Paper projects, culminating with the approval of an updated White Paper programme implementation roadmap in February 2021. The Commission on the Defence Forces was established on foot of a commitment in the programme for government and the government decision in December 2020, which also agreed as terms of reference. The Commission undertook a significant body of work on the future of the Defence Forces, encompassing their wide-ranging terms of reference, having regard to immediate requirements, while also seeking to develop a longer-term vision for beyond 2030. It was guided and informed by both the White Paper on Defence itself and the White Paper update of 2019. In February 2022, the report of the Commission on the Defence Forces was published, which was followed by the publication of the High-Level Action Plan in July of 2022. Throughout 2023, the priority was the finalisation of ongoing White Paper projects and the evaluation of potential alignment of outstanding White Paper projects with recommendations projects approved under the Government's High-Level Action Plan to implement the recommendations of the Commission on the Defence Forces report. In September, I published the Strategic Framework on the Transformation of the Defence Forces, which brought together in one overarching document from the multiplicity of plans developed the immediate actions to be taken to support the transformation of the Defence Forces into a fit-for-purpose organisation to defend the state and meet the challenges of the day. Could the rest be regarded as read into the record? It was a lengthy reply, apologies for that.
Yeah, I think you probably answered the first supplementary I had, which was that has the White Paper been overtaken by events, and in particular the report of the Commission of the Defence Forces? And if it has, will there be a new White Paper, or are we just going to work on the Commission? And also, will the Consultative Forum on International Security Policy require a formal change of direction in the form of a White Paper or a revised White Paper?
First of all, I think the strategic framework that I published in September on the transformation of the Defence Forces is the overarching document now. And our focus is on implementing that in accordance with the timelines that have been set within that framework. And I think we need one clear overarching document, and that covers all aspects both of the Commission on Defence Forces and the Independent Review Group recommendations pertaining to culture within the Defence Forces also. That said, a White Paper programme status report is currently being finalised and it's hoped to publish shortly. But I think, yes, I mean, as you can see from the reply, there's been lots and lots of paper, lots and lots of work. I'm now very focused on actions and getting things done. And in respect to the consultative, the consultations that we had last year, the consultative forum, we're working on some aspects of that in terms of forthcoming legislation. And I hope to bring legislation to government in respect of the triple lock, for example, and those issues. And in terms of the, insights that were gleaned and perspectives that were heard at the forum in respect of how the veto and the application of the veto at UN now Security Council means the chances or the opportunities to participate in peacekeeping could be few and far between into the future. That's one aspect that we're looking at. There are other aspects in terms of a maritime security strategy and so forth that we will just get on and do the strategies.
In 2015, the government at the time took the view that there was scope during the currency of the white paper to further develop supports to existing personnel and veterans. This was to include training of serving personnel so that they'd have civilian qualifications once they left the army, so that they would be able to transfer into civil society and be able to get employment. And I'm wondering what progress has been made with training for personnel to ensure that when they exit, not only are they trained, but that they've recognised qualifications and applicable vocational skills. So I'm wondering what, sooner or later everybody who serves in the army moves on. Virtually all of them are still a working age. And what transitional arrangements are being made to ensure that there's a smooth transition from army service into civilian life in terms of being trained, skilled and qualified to take up civilian employment?
Well, there was extensive training within the Defence Forces, and many people come out of Defence Forces when they eventually leave very well qualified and eagerly sought after, which is a problem in some respects, because we're anxious that people would stay longer in the Defence Forces, and that's why we've improved conditions and improved pay, and also now retirement ages, which is very significant. We've raised the retirement age now to 60 and eventually to 62, which I think has been broadly welcomed across the Defence Forces. And our objective would be that people would stay longer within the Defence Forces, and that if we can improve the overall quality of life for our Defence Forces members, that would ensure retention of members for a far greater period than perhaps has been the case in the recent past. But there are extensive programmes, and certainly the evidence seems to suggest that there are many opportunities for personnel in the private sector after they're completing their time in the Defence Forces.